Hey guys, Lord here, back in another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the DC Multiverse Bizarro and Batzarro 2-pack brought to us by the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys. Maybe not so fine folks in this case, but we'll get into that. And I promise you, this is actually gonna be my last DC Multiverse review for a while, because I feel like I'm wearing guys a little thin with all the DC Multiverse reviews, but hey, what can I say? Got a lot of catching up to do. Still got a lot of catching up to do as of the time I'm recording this video, but that can be easier said than done, I'm afraid, especially these days when referring to this particular action figure and or toy line. So without further ado, let's cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review. Take a look-see at the accessories, the useful accessories that come with these two. We've got a pair of grip hands for Batzarro. For what, you might ask? I'm not too sure, because he doesn't come with any accessories to grip, so that seems like kind of a waste, but they're there. We also have a pair of open hands for Bizarro. A little bit more useful if you ask me. That said, I'm kind of surprised they didn't just make these black for Batzarro. I think the wrist balls are the same size, but I guess that's a good thing, because you do have the nails sculpted on those hands, because they are bare hands, not gloves after all. And then we got the Bizarro #1 neck chain thing, which truth be told, I much prefer the old Mattel, is it DC Classics, DC Superheroes version of this. Is that a real metal chain? I think it was a real metal piece, in fact. So this is fine. Kind of to be expected, but not exactly my cup of tea. And then last but kind of least in this case, we get this display base, which I want to say was originally packaged with the Superman Devastator 2-pack. It comes with these guys. They fit on it, but it's obvious it was intended for something else. That's actually going to come up again in just a moment, because there is something that was made for something else that's very prominent in this 2-pack, and I'm surprised they did not address with a retool of some kind. But before we get into that, they do come with collectible trading cards, one for each of them. There are bios on the back, but thanks to my reader, you should not have to pause and read that. So let me just the volume accordingly here, and see if I can't get to read these.
Bizarro TM, data file, real name, unknown. Bizarro is a Frankenstein-like monster with a heart of gold. Although he was originally created by Lex Luthor, he has gone on to prove that he has a moral character far superior to that of his mad scientist father. Possessing many Kryptonian abilities, albeit warped and twisted, this heroic clone of Superman fights for truth, justice, and the Bizarro way. DC Multiverse.
So, first and foremost, Bizarro is a good guy, which is news to me, because I'm used to him in the Super Friends and Justice League Unlimited cartoons being a bad guy associated with the Legion of Doom, but I guess in later years that does make sense. He does seem like he was just kind of used, which is kind of sad when you really think about it. Now we have the Batzarro.
Bizarro, data Batzarro TM, data file, real name, unknown. Created by Mr. Mixus-Pitalik, and the Joker as a playmate for Bizarro. Batzarro is twisted version of the Dark Knight. DC Multiverse.
And yeah, so Batzarro, once evil clones, of Batman and Superman. Now, I'm guessing not so much. And Batzarro, unlike Bizarro, was created by Mr. Mxyzptlk and the Joker, kinda with sorcery, if I had to guess. Because isn't Mr. Mxyzptlk a kind of a wizard of some kind? I remember him from the Superman animated series and the Super Friends cartoon shows, being a little bit of a pesky character. But Bizarro was obviously created with science, so it's kind of interesting that the two were created different ways. I always thought that Batzarro was a clone that the Joker made of Batman, but whatever. To each their own. So moving Bizarro out of the way here, let's just peel the band-aid off and address the main issue with this 2-pack, and that is Batzarro's upper torso having the bat symbol from the figure that previously utilized this mold underneath it. That is right. This is the Dark Knight Returns Batman body buck, and while I do think it fits perfectly for Batzarro, you know, kind of big, chunky, over-exaggerated, distorted proportions, he's got the bat symbol from that Batman underneath the bat symbol for Batzarro. Did somebody say incompetence? I mean, seriously, this is already a new piece. They could have just made it work with what they already had. Or better yet, just mold this bat underneath in black. That way, these just look like points on the Batzarro bat. I guess another thing you could do is color those in yourself, or clip them, because they appear to be separate pieces, but shouldn't have to do that. As a consumer / customer, I paid good money for this 2-pack. It should be, you know, presented in a way that's acceptable to me by the company in question, being McFarlane Toys. So I don't know why that is how it is. And this is not the only instance of their incompetence, especially in recent history. They didn't paint the back of the belt on Superman in that $40 a piece Crisis on Infinite Earths The Monitor collectible wave. The Aquaman coming out, the really classic looking one, has the A on his shoulder from the Flashpoint Aquaman, even though it's clearly not painted and not supposed to be there. And then, you know, to add insult to injury, they're making Platinum Chase variants of characters people really want. So, obviously, since people really want them, they're going to be hard to find. Like, what is going on with McFarlane Toys? I mean, I'd like to sit here and say it's the Todd father who's responsible for all this, but I feel like it's a little more than that. Like, I don't understand what's going on here. Like, 2020, we didn't have any of these problems. We had some, you know, finding their footsteps problems, but it was nothing like this. This is ridiculous, man. But I digress, I suppose. I do like the fact that his utility belt is, in fact, upside down and all the pouches are just hanging open. That's pretty funny. But as far as the articulation on this guy goes, his head is on a double ball peg. What a glorious double ball peg it is. Works really well. You can tilt side to side, all the way around. He's got his mask pulled in all kinds of crazy ways. Shoulders go out to the side. Go back down. They rotate forward and back. He does have that rotator cap in there. He's got the swivel in the elbow with a hinge. Ball hinge wrists that work fine. You can hinge them, you can rotate them in the top and the bottom. Torso is on a single ball joint, but you're not going to get much out of that. It's very limited. Hips can kick out to the side, back down. They can kick forward and back. He does have a pretty generous thigh cut for a McFarlane figure, but here's the kicker. Because this is the Dark Knight Returns body buck, he actually has an actual thigh cut that can go full 360. Because the Dark Knight Returns Batman was intended for a horse, and while this guy does not have a horse of his own, Batzarro, you can put him on that horse. I don't have that horse handy, but you know, food for thought there. He does have a double knee, works quite well. And then he's got a ball hinge foot, so you can rotate, hinge. And he's got the rocker and the toe joints, which are tight enough on this guy. The cape, not very soft plastic, but it will get out of your way. And very generous gluteus maximus on that figure. Like, holy crap. So, yeah, man, not perfect, obviously. This doesn't bother me personally, but I totally understand how that can be a deal breaker for some people. Because, you know, these guys aren't new to the toy industry, so that should have either been retooled or they could have made the new bat kind of cover up the old kind of, I don't know if you want to call that socket or area where that Dark Knight Returns bat once was. I don't think that's outside the realm of reason there. So bringing in Bizarro. These guys did not come with these hockey puck display stands we're used to seeing with all McFarlane Toys releases, by the way. I provided those. Very odd that they didn't come with those, because I'm pretty sure most of the 2-packs I've gotten all had stands. So, you know, they didn't put the stands in the box. They didn't retool the torso bat or the torso to accommodate the new character design. But fortunately, Bizarro, unlike Batzarro, really solid figure. Again, he's got that over-exaggerated, muscular body butt from the Dark Knight Returns Superman, which I don't have. But I do have the Return of Superman that utilizes the same body buck. So you can get a gist of how they stack next to each other. Not sure when I'll get around to reviewing that Superman, by the way. Because while I do have the Green Lantern Batman on order, I'm unable to track down that infamous, ominous, I don't know what word I'm looking for here, the Captain Carrot figure. I cannot, elusive, there you go, elusive Captain Carrot figure. I don't know why he's like sold out everywhere, where if that was a Hasbro Marvel Legends release, it'd be on clearance at Target for $5. You can suck it, that's the truth. That said, Bizarro here, we bring in his little neck bling here. If I can find it, what happened? Where'd it go? Oh, I feel stupid right now. I should be able to find that. Seriously? Alright, well, his neck bling is missing. I don't know what I did with that. Yeah, that's pretty stupid. I don't... Oh, this review is falling apart at the seams. Well, I'll put that on him after the video, I guess. It's on him for final thoughts, but for whatever reason, my dumb butt... There he is. There it is. This is my second go at this, because my iPad was being a total bitch and didn't want to save this video, so we'll see how this goes later, but there you go. It just slips right over his head. His noggin there. Very nice head sculpt. He's got the buzz cut. And of course he's got the backwards S on his chest. I'm not going to go over articulation here. Not much to speak of. It's the same as Batzarro, minus the thigh cut, because Superman doesn't need to ride a horse. That said, much like Batzarro and the figures that previously utilized these bucks, very generous gluteus maximus on this guy. The cape is not super hard per se, but it is not as soft as some of the more recent capes. So, standing him up there, I would say he's definitely the standout of the 2-pack. If you're gonna get it for him, I think it's worth it. Batzarro is cool, but that torso is just flat up lazy. You can't be doing that in this day and age and not expect to be called out for it. Whether you can fix it or not, that doesn't affect everyone's, buying experience. There's no way to justify it. Don't be lazy. You make enough money, you make enough variants, you make enough exclusives, you make enough, geez Louise, SKUs, price points, and whatnot. With just the DC Multiverse line, you can afford to rework that and make it work better. Okay? Let's not kid ourselves. So, moving them over a little bit. Let's bring in our 2 regulars for size comparisons. The Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibilith. And the infamous 11 Spawn, who is not towering over these two, but he is a little bit taller. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from the incompetent and glaring oversight that is Batzarro's upper torso, I mean, seriously, what exactly are we doing here? Because without a single trace of doubt in my mind, to quote both Monkeys and Smash Mouth, okay, if you ask me, that is the pinnacle of Hasbro shenanigans, if I do say so myself. Possibly worse, but I'll leave that for you guys to decide. Be that as it may, however, I thoroughly enjoy this set. I'm glad I picked it up. I think Bizarro is fun. I think Batzarro is fun, if you can get past the upper torso, that is, because at the end of the day, I am a consumer and or customer first, and a customizer second, if at all, because visually impaired and all. So while I do know how to fix that, I really shouldn't have to. Okay? And I think we can all agree that McFarlane Toys is becoming more and more of a shadow of the company they once were, because back when they first acquired the DC Comics license from Warner Brothers, this was a fun line to collect. I thoroughly enjoy collecting this line. It was easy to keep up with, it was easy to backtrack, and there were less, we'll say, for lack of a better term, rookie mistakes. Nowadays, it feels like less of that, more and more and more BS. So I'm hoping that in the near to distant future, because better sooner rather than later, right? The fine folks over at McFarlane Toys can make a quick turnaround and go back to the company they once were, because what they're pulling nowadays is some grade A, major league BS. And if you ask me, in the end, it's going to cost them. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.